Alrighty, so my conversation with Maddie went pretty smooth, with only a couple awkward pauses, which I would then bring up another topic to discuss. We started off talking about our typical day routine, which she said that a typical day in France would consist of a light breakfast after getting out of bed early for school around 7. The breakfast would be a piece of toasted baguette with apricot jam and Nestle hot chocolate. And then she said that at school she goes to her classes such as English language and history and had a long lunch period with nearly 2 hours to relax. And then for lunch she'd have a Swiss ham and cheese baguette sandwich with fruit and Petit Prince cookies. And then after school she didn't do many sports or extracurriculars. So altogether this seems fairly similar to our typical day here in America in high school. The only big difference, actually, there's two that caught my eye, was they had 2 hours for lunch, which we didn't because they just believe that it's a good time to catch yourself and like you should eat and like relax before you go back to class. Because mine here was only like 55 minutes, which was way too short. And then also that they didn't do many extracurricular activities. And I asked her why that was, and she told me it's because grades were stressed. That was the main priority. That means like no going out on weekends because you were studying, which kind of led me into my next topic about like what made her happy and like what she did on the weekends. And she said very occasionally she'd go to the beach and just hang out and just do stuff like that. They went to let's see, they went to the Biscothke. I can't say that word. Biscothke. Um, and that's what those were her two main activities that she would do. Um, and then also what made her happy in high school was getting a good grade on exams. So looping back around to how she was telling us that grades were stressed completely was a big ordeal for her. I asked her what her top three worries in high school were, and they were fairly similar to mine. They were getting good grades, having enough time for like a social life and friends, and then also like setting aside time for like family. She told me that she didn't really have that great of a bond with her family because of all the schoolwork and just trying to balance out everything. She told me that her largest exam was the baccalaureate. It covered everything in high school. You studied the last semester of school, and in order to prepare, she would um, go to extra classes outside that you pay for. She saved all of her textbooks and all of her notebooks to study. And it was very stressful, she was telling me, because if you didn't pass this, you'd have to take the final year of high school all over again, like how her mom did. So overall, it seems like it's like more or less similar. Only a couple big differences, like grades were stressed a lot more. I would say the fact that extracurriculars weren't encouraged like they are here is definitely like a big change. Because I mean personally I believe it's a good thing that colleges are accepting more well-rounded students than before, and that they encourage like you to do dance or you to play into a sport or do theater or something, but back there it's just based on grades. And but other than that, I would say it's fairly similar, other than like it could be a little bit more strict than it is here. So other than that, it was a very good conversation with her, and I don't know, I've got a lot out of talking to her because it's interesting to me seeing what high school is like all around the world, and like why it's like why it affects her studies today. So yeah, all good.